Good morning, everyone. In the last two videos, we studied about amplitude modulation. Amplitude modulation is the process in which amplitude of the carrier wave is varied in accordance with the amplitude of the message signal. And we studied that in amplitude modulation, the total power transmission is equal to carrier power plus upper sideband power plus lower sideband power. AM occupies the total transmission bandwidth equal to twice the highest frequency present in the message signal. So carrier wave is completely independent of the information bearing signal, and hence suppression of the carrier does not lose any information, and hence we suppress the carrier. We can transmit only two sidebands. So from AM, if the carrier is suppressed, we are getting the double sideband suppressed carrier modulation scheme, which is also known as a DSBSC modulation scheme. The bandwidth remains same because it occupies two sidebands. So there is a power saving. So two sidebands contains the same information. If one sideband is removed, there is no loss for the information from AM wave. If the carrier and one of the sidebands are suppressed, then we will be getting another type of AM variation known as single sideband modulation. In single sideband modulation, we are transmitting only one sideband. Due to that, there is a much reduction in the transmitted power. Not only that, the bandwidth is also reduced. We are transmitting only one sideband. Hence, the bandwidth of SSB is equal to highest frequency present in the given message signal. Due to that, the bandwidth of the SSB is 1/2 to that of AM or 1/2 to that of DSBSC. By using SSB, we can make use of double the number of channel transmission. So SSB is widely used for telephony, and it is not well suited for telegraphy and television, because voice telephony, voice frequency starts from 300 Hz to 3.4 kilohertz, and there is an energy gap from 0 Hz to 300 Hz. So when we are isolating the unwanted sideband, there is a choice of removing the frequencies of the wanted sideband nearer to 0. And it is not at all a problem for the voice communication, but it is a problem for the telegraphy and television signals, because video signal extends from 0 Hz to 4.3 megahertz, and hence the lower frequencies in the video are also very important, and that is the reason SSB cannot be used for television transmission. So it suggested another type of modulation, as we studied in the last class, vestigial sideband modulation. In that we are transmitting one sideband and a part of the other sideband. So it is a compromise between DSBSC and SSB modulation scheme. So it requires slightly higher bandwidth than SSB and requires less bandwidth than DSBSC modulation scheme. Further, in this video, we will be studying about angle modulation, amplitude modulation, and its variations cannot provide much of the noise discrimination. In order to reduce the amount of noise to greater extent, we will be studying angle modulation in the present lesson. So in this video, we are going to study about angle modulation. Upon completion of this lesson, you will be able to know about what is angle modulation, mention the types of angle modulation, what are the differences between angle modulation and amplitude modulation, what are the advantages of angle modulation, What are the disadvantages of angle modulation? What are the advantages of phase modulation, frequency modulation? We will study the basic definitions of angle modulation types, phase modulation, and frequency modulation. We will also see the mathematical representation of FM wave, and we also study in detail about the time domain equation of FM, and we define frequency deviation and modulation index in FM. So upon completion of this lesson, we are going to study in detail about all the parameters related to angle modulation schemes. So angle modulation, it is also one type of the analog modulation. AM is also analog modulation. In this modulation technique, we have the angle parameter. In that angle parameter, we have frequency and phase is existing. In angle modulation, the angle of the carrier wave is varied in accordance with the instantaneous value of the message signal or modulating signal. So the angle term consisting of frequency, angle term consisting of phase also. In angle modulation, the amplitude of the carrier wave is maintained constant. So you can take angle of the carrier wave, vary the angle of the carrier wave as per the variations in the instantaneous amplitude of the message signal. Keep the amplitude of the carrier wave constant. So the angle can be varied by either varying frequency or by varying frequency of the phase of the carrier. So angle modulated wave, we have the representation S of t equal to AC cos theta it. AC is the amplitude of the carrier. Theta it is the angle of the carrier. Before modulation, this theta it is constant. That means that theta, there is no relation between theta it and the message signal. Theta it is called the instantaneous angle of the carrier. So in this we are taking theta it. This theta it consisting of two parameters, frequency and phase also. It consists of two parameters. Theta it is represented as instantaneous angle of the carrier is equal to 2 pi fct plus pi c. Fc is the frequency of the carrier and pi c is the phase of the carrier. So angle of the carrier can be varied either by varying frequency of the carrier or by varying phase of the carrier. Only one variation we can provide. And amplitude AC is constant, we can provide only variations in FC. Theta it is the angle of the carrier, AC is the carrier amplitude, FC is the carrier frequency, and theta C is the phase of the carrier. So because there exist the variations in the frequency, there exist variations in the phase. So angle term contains frequency, and hence we will be getting frequency modulation. The angle term consisting of phase, and hence we will be getting the phase modulation. So there are two types of angle modulation schemes because the angle term theta it consisting of frequency term as well as phase term, because theta it equal to 2 pi fct plus pi of t. So if we vary the frequency of the carrier in accordance with the amplitude of the message signal, keeping the amplitude and phase of the carrier constant, we are getting the frequency modulated signal. Similarly, the phase modulation is defined as varying the phase of the carrier in accordance with the amplitude of the message signal, keeping the amplitude and frequency of the carrier constant. So that is the reason There are two types of angle modulation techniques. In angle modulation, the angle of the carrier is varied, but amplitude is kept constant. Whereas in amplitude modulation, as we studied, amplitude is varied, but angle is kept constant. Now let us see the frequency modulated waveform. And this is the carrier signal. We have carrier cycles. It is a high frequency carrier signal. And this is the message signal. This message signal or modulating signal, we want to transmit from transmitting end to the receiving end. This signal is to be transmitted with the help of this carrier. So we are processing this carrier in the frequency modulation. How we have to change the frequency of the carrier according with the amplitude of the message signal. So we need to change the frequency of the carrier as per the variations in the amplitude of the message signal. Observe here the message amplitude is increasing. So we need to increase the frequency of the carrier. See here, this is the modulated waveform. Frequency of the carrier is increasing. The meaning of it is the cycle duration is decreasing. When time period is decreasing, frequency increases. So we are providing direct variations in the frequency of the carrier as per the variations in the amplitude of the message signal. So here the amplitude of the message signal is increasing. The frequency of the carrier is also to be increased. Here amplitude of the message signal is decreasing. The frequency of the carrier signal is to be decreased. That means we are getting highest frequency of the carrier where the message amplitude is maximum. This cycle will have highest frequency. This is the case where the message signal is having maximum amplitude and this message signal is having minimum amplitude. So the carrier will have low frequency, minimum frequency. That means there is a variation of the frequency from maximum value to minimum value in the carrier. These frequency variations are in accordance with the amplitude of the message signal. So this modulated signal contains amplitude constant. We are not changing the amplitude of the signal constant. The phase is also constant. Starting point is constant. Only the cycle duration we are changing. So cycle time period is inversely proportional to frequency. When time period is decreasing, the frequency increases. When time period is increasing, the frequency decreases. So when message amplitude is increasing, the carrier frequency is to be increased. When the message amplitude is decreasing, the carrier frequency is to be decreased. This is the frequency modulated signal. So we take the unmodulated carrier. What is unmodulated carrier? The amplitude is same. Cycle duration is same for all the cycles. The starting point is also same. There is no change in the frequency. There is no change in the amplitude. There is no change in the frequency of the carrier before modulation. But after doing frequency modulation, we are getting the changes in the frequency of the carrier according with the amplitude of the message signal. And hence, the message signal is impressed on the carrier by varying frequencies of the carrier. Okay. Now this is the phase modulated signal. Here we can vary the phase of the carrier in accordance with the amplitude of the message signal. This is the carrier, unmodulated carrier. And this message signal we want to transmit from sending end to the receiving end. And here we want to vary the phase of the carrier. So phase variations, it is very difficult to observe phase variations on CRO, cathode ray oscilloscope or display device. So when you observe over a time period, we can see that there are variations in the carrier frequencies. That means that when there are variations in the phase of the carrier, the frequency also varies. There is a relation between the carrier phase and the frequency. Fi of t equal to 1 by 2 pi d theta it by dt. There is a relation between instantaneous angle of the carrier and instantaneous frequency. So instantaneous frequency is nothing but the differential of the instantaneous phase angle divided by 2 pi. That means when the phase of the carrier is changing in accordance with the amplitude of the message signal, the frequency of the carrier also changes. So we are observing this type of waveform as PM wave. We can say that a PM can be regarded as FM. FM can also be regarded as PM. There is a slight difference between these two modulation schemes. When we are trying to vary the frequency of the carrier, the phase also varies. When we are trying to vary the frequency phase of the carrier, the frequency also varies. That is the reason we can get PM wave from FM wave and FM wave from PM. So why do we go for angle modulation? Angle modulation provides better elimination of noise and interference than amplitude modulation. The first basic advantage is it provides better discrimination against noise and interference, which is not possible in case of amplitude modulation, where we have fixed bandwidth. There is no exchange of bandwidth with reference to the signal to noise ratio. That is not possible in amplitude modulation and any of its variations, DSBSC, SSB or VSB. That is the reason amplitude modulation cannot provide better discrimination against noise and interference. And hence, in order to provide better quality in the transmitted signals, we are going for angle modulation. Angle modulation provides better elimination of noise and interference than amplitude modulation. Angle modulation requires large bandwidth than AM. Whereas in amplitude modulation, there is a fixed bandwidth. That bandwidth is equal to 2 times the highest frequency present in the given message signal. Whereas angle modulation, the bandwidth depends upon the frequency deviation. How much frequency we are changing from maximum value to minimum value. So it requires large bandwidth. So this is a disadvantage, but nowadays there is no problem for the bandwidth. We need to get high signal to noise ratio while suppressing the noise and interference, and hence by investigating or by the extent of certain more bandwidth, we are able to get more signal to noise ratio, better clarity in the received signal. The total transmitted power is utilized in angle modulation. There is no change in the amplitude of the carrier in angle modulation. That is why the total power is utilized in angle modulation, but most of the power is wasted due to carrier in amplitude modulation. That is why angle modulation is providing better discrimination against noise and interference. So there is a less effect of noise and interference in angle modulation. Effect of noise can be further decreased by increasing frequency deviation, or by using amplitude limiters. We can provide extra noise limiting circuits in FM modulation. They are known as amplitude limiters to clip up the noise, or we can also provide better discrimination against noise by increasing the frequency deviation. So the total transmitted power is useful in angle modulation. Signal to noise ratio is more. The amplitude of the modulated carrier is maintained constant at all times. This is the main advantage of angle modulation. When the amplitude is constant, there is less tendency of noise added in the channel. But there are some disadvantages of angle modulation. It requires more bandwidth. The equipment requires more complex equipment, as well as it is costly. But bandwidth nowadays is not a problem, and we have to see only the quality for the users. With the advancement in the electronics and communication technology, we have the equipment. What are the advantages of amplitude modulation? We study less bandwidth is required, circuit is simple and cheap, but the disadvantages are more noise and interference. Most of the transmitted power is wasted due to the carrier transmission. Noise cannot be reduced further, and hence we will be going for frequency modulation or angle modulation, where we have all these advantages. So what are the advantages of angle modulation? There is less effect of noise and interference on the signals. Effect of noise can be further decreased by increasing frequency deviation or by use of the amplitude limiters. The total transmitted power is useful. We have more signal to noise ratio. The amplitude of the modulated carrier is maintained constant at all times. Hence, there is a less amount of noise added in the channel. So because of all these advantages, we are going for angle modulation. Now let us compare amplitude modulation, frequency modulation, and phase modulation with respect to the waveforms here. This is the carrier signal. This is the message signal, sine wave. Here amplitude of the carrier is increasing, when message amplitude is increasing. Message amplitude is decreasing, the amplitude of the carrier decreases. Now we see the phase modulated signal. Phase of the carrier we are changing. When phase of the carrier is changed, frequency also changes. If you observe this phase modulated wave over a display device for a time, we can observe that the cycles are closure at the zero crossings of the message signal. These are the zero crossings of the message signal. The cycles will be closure. This is not the actual waveform. When phase variations are very frequency domain representation, we can see all these analysis. Time domain is only for the display of the waveform. We cannot analyze the properties of these analog modulation schemes or using time domain representation. That is the reason we go for frequency domain representation. But when you observe it on a display device, you can see that at the zero crossings of the message signal, the cycles will be closure for phase modulated signal. And frequency modulated signal, when amplitude of the message signal is increasing, the frequency of the carrier also increases. When amplitude of the message signal is decreasing, the frequency of the carrier also decreases. This is the basic comparison with reference to the definition. Now we define frequency modulation. It is a form of angle modulation in which the instantaneous frequency of the carrier is varied according with the amplitude of the message signal. Phase modulation, it is a form of angle modulation in which the instantaneous phase of the carrier is varied according to the amplitude of the message signal. When we take frequency modulation, vary the frequency of the carrier directly proportional with the amplitude of the message signal. Keep the amplitude and phase of the carrier constant. Phase modulation, we are varying the phase of the carrier in accordance with the amplitude of the message signal, keeping the amplitude and frequency of the carrier constant. So frequency modulation is a form of angle modulation in which frequency of the carrier is varied in accordance with the instantaneous amplitude of the modulating signal. Amplitude of the carrier is constant, phase also constant. Now let us see the mathematical representation of FM wave. Consider the message signal m of t equal to am cos 2 pi fmt. It is a sinusoidal signal. Message or voice, video is a sinusoidal signal. Let us take initially the single tone modulation where we have only one tone m of t equal to am cos 2 pi fmt, and we have am is the amplitude of the message signal, fm is the frequency of the message signal, and we assume that phase of the message signal is 0. The instantaneous frequency of FM wave is given by Fi of t equal to Fc plus Kf m of t. Before modulation, the frequency of the carrier is Fc. After modulation, the frequency of the carrier is becoming Fc plus Kf m of t, where m of t is a message signal and Kf is the frequency sensitivity. It is defined as how much variation in frequency that we can provide for 1 volt variation in the amplitude of the message signal. It depends upon the type of the modulator. It is the sensitivity of the modulator. See this expression, instantaneous frequency is nothing but carrier frequency plus frequency sensitivity multiplied by the message signal. Frequency sensitivity, it is a constant, depends on the type of the modulator. When message amplitude is increasing, Fc plus Kfm of t increases. That means the instantaneous frequency increases. That type of variation we are providing for FM. The instantaneous frequency of the carrier is varied in accordance with the amplitude of the message signal. So what is message signal expression we have? Am cos 2 pi fmt. Fc plus Kf am cos 2 pi fmt. When amplitude of the message signal is increasing, this quantity increases. Fc plus this quantity increases. That means the instantaneous frequency increases. When message amplitude is increasing, the instantaneous frequency is increased. When the message amplitude am is decreasing, this quantity decreases. Fc plus this quantity decreases. Due to that, there is a decrease in the instantaneous frequency of the carrier. And therefore, we are providing variations in the carrier. Fc is a constant frequency, but we are adding a term to Fc. Fc plus Kf message signal. That means we have the variations in the amplitude of the message signal. They are reflected in the form of increasing or decreasing of the carrier frequency depending upon the amplitude of the message signal. And hence, we have the instantaneous frequency of the carrier, which is equal to carrier frequency plus Kfm of t, carrier frequency plus Kf am cos 2 pi fmt. When message amplitude is increasing, the instantaneous frequency also increases. When message amplitude is decreasing, the instantaneous frequency also decreases. Those type of variations we are providing in frequency modulated signal. So we call this as Fc plus delta cos 2 pi fmt. What is delta here? Kf am. Delta equal to Kf am. This Kf am we call it as delta. This delta is nothing but frequency deviation. We call this as a frequency deviation. Delta equal to Kf AM is called frequency deviation. So when the amplitude of the message signal is increasing, the deviation also increases. It is nothing but the frequency variation in the carrier from its unmodulated carrier frequency position. See the last expression. This is KF AM is delta. When amplitude is increasing, delta increases. When delta increases, FC plus this quantity increases. So we provide variation from its carrier frequency, unmodulated carrier frequency. So this delta value is directly proportional to amplitude of the message signal. So when amplitude of the message signal is increasing, delta also increases. So if you provide more frequency deviation for better representation of the FM wave, it is better to increase the frequency deviation. It is possible by increasing the amplitude of the carrier, amplitude of the message. KF is the frequency sensitivity of the modulator. As I already told you, it is depending upon the type of the modulator. So its value is nothing but the variations in the frequency. How many variations in the carrier frequency we can provide for 1 volt variation in the amplitude of the message. The fundamental characteristics of FM signal is that the frequency deviation delta is proportional to the amplitude of the message signal. It is proportional to amplitude of the message signal and is independent of the signal frequency. Here there is no signal frequency, it is independent of the signal frequency. It is only depending upon the amplitude of the message signal. So hence the FM signal is given by S of t equal to A cos theta it, and we have theta term given by this equation Fi of t equal to Fc plus delta cos 2 pi Fmt, and we have the relation between Fi of t and theta it. Fi of t equal to 1 by 2 pi d theta it by dt. From that you will be getting the value of theta it as theta it equal to omega ct plus delta by fm sin omega mt. This theta it, Fi it is known to us. Fi of t equal to 1 by 2 pi d theta it by dt, or theta it equal to 2 pi into integral Fit dt. When integrate Fit dt, instantaneous frequency is integrated and multiplied by 2 pi, we are getting the phase angle. This is, we are getting it as the term omega ct plus delta by fm sin omega mt. This is the variation in the instantaneous angle of the carrier. When instantaneous frequency changed, the instantaneous angle also changes, and substitute here AC cos or sine. You can take either cos or sine, no problem. And this theta it, you replace it by omega ct plus delta by fm into sine omega mt. And AC cos of, here there is a cos of omega ct plus mf sine omega mt, where mf is nothing but modulation index, which is given by delta by fm. Delta is nothing but frequency deviation by modulating signal frequency. Here we are defining one more term. Here there is a sine term, AC sine omega ct plus mf sine omega mt. So mf is the modulation index. It is defined as the ratio of frequency deviation to the message signal frequency. Frequency deviation in turn depends upon the amplitude of the carrier. It is given by the formula KFAM, and hence modulation index of the FM wave is directly proportional to amplitude of the message signal and inversely proportional to the frequency of the message signal. When amplitude of the message signal increases, this frequency deviation increases, modulation index also increases. And these are the waveforms. This is the carrier. This is the message signal. This is the frequency modulated, phase modulated wave. phase of the carrier is changed according with the amplitude of the message signal. This is a frequency modulated wave. At the zero crossings of the message, the cycles are very close to zero crossings of the message, whereas in free FM wave, when amplitude is increasing, the frequency also increases. This is the maximum frequency where the amplitude of the message signal is maximum. As the amplitude of the information signal varies, the carrier frequency changes proportionally. The amount of change in carrier frequency from its initial position is called frequency deviation. What is the frequency deviation? Delta equal to KFAM. So by increasing the amplitude of the message signal, the delta also increases. How much increase, how much change we can provide in carrier frequency from its initial position. What is the initial position? The unmodulated carrier frequency FC. And hence, the deviation is directly proportional to amplitude of the message signal. The amount of deviation of the carrier is proportional to the amplitude of the modulating signal or message signal. Once again, see the waveform of the FM wave, carrier, message signal. This is the frequency modulated signal. When amplitude of the message signal is increasing, frequency of the carrier also increases. When amplitude of the message signal is decreasing, frequency of the carrier also decreases. So we are changing the cycle durations according with the amplitude of the message signal in FM wave. The frequency of the modulating signal determines how many times per second the carrier frequency deviates above and below its center frequency. That is, when message amplitude is maximum AM, I am getting FC plus KFAM. When message amplitude is minimum, the minimum amplitude of the message is minus AM, then we are getting it as FC minus KFAM. And therefore, there is a deviation from its maximum value above the center frequency and below the center frequency. This is called a frequency deviation rate. In FM, increasing the amplitude or frequency of the modulation does not cause over modulation or distortion. This is a very important point. There is no over modulation in frequency modulation. The modulation index you can increase. Modulation index is defined as a delta by FM. That means it is defined as the ratio of frequency deviation to the frequency of the message signal. When we increase the deviation, the beta also increases. There is no restriction on the modulation index in frequency modulation, whereas there is a restriction on the modulation index in case of amplitude modulation. The maximum modulation index is 1 in case of AM. If M is greater than 1, there will be a over modulation. Due to that, there is a distortion. In FM, there is no over modulation. If we go on increasing the amplitude of the message signal, we can go on increasing the deviation. We can go on increasing the modulation index. We can increase the bandwidth for providing better discrimination against noise and interference. These are the various FM waveforms. So depending upon the modulation index, when modulation index is very small, 0.5, the noise is there. When modulation index is 1, the noise content is reduced here. The signal recovery is made possible. When modulation index is more, this message signal is better represented by using the modulated signal. We derived these expressions. We define frequency deviation. It is defined as the amount of change in carrier frequency from its initial position. That means FC to how much variation we are providing. on either side, positive side, negative side. It is proportional to the instantaneous amplitude of modulating signal. So delta equal to KFAM, we derived this, defined this equation. When amplitude of the message signal increases, the frequency deviation also increases. This is the waveform displayed over digital oscilloscope. Message amplitude increasing, the carrier frequency increases. So if you want to further increase the amplitude of the message signal, the cycle duration further decreases, thereby more increase in the frequency. When message amplitude is decreasing here, the duration of the cycles are becoming high, the frequency is low. See here, this is the maximum amplitude of the message signal. Here we have highest carrier frequency. Here observe here, this is the minimum amplitude of the message signal, minus EAM. Then the duration of the cycle is more the minimum frequency. The maximum frequency of the carrier results when the amplitude of the message signal is maximum. There is a minimum instantaneous frequency when the amplitude of the message signal is minimum. When the amplitude of the message signal is zero, the modulated signal will have the frequencies equal to unmodulated carrier frequency. Here we have FC. Here we have FC plus delta F. Here we have the frequency FC minus delta F or delta F. Delta is the frequency deviation. Delta equal to KFA. Here the frequency of the modulated signal is FC. Here the frequency of the modulated signal is FC plus KFA. Here the frequency of the modulated signal is FC minus KFA. So it is oscillating between FC plus delta to FC minus delta. So we are having so many frequency variations in the frequency modulated signal. And we also defined it is modulation index. It is defined as the ratio of maximum frequency deviation to the highest modulating signal frequency. MF equal to delta by FM. Delta in turn depends upon KF AM. So modulation index of FM is directly proportional to amplitude of the message signal and inversely proportional to frequency of the message signal. When the amplitude of the message signal increases, modulation index also increases. When the frequency of the message signal decreases, the modulation index increases. So it is depending upon both the parameters. Whereas modulation index of AM equal to the ratio of amplitude of the message signal to amplitude of the carrier, AM by AC. Here it is not like that. The modulation index is depending only on the amplitude of the message signal as well as frequency of the message signal. So in angle modulation, the angle of the carrier frequency is varied in accordance with the instantaneous amplitude of the message signal, keeping the amplitude constant. So angle consisting of frequency and phase also. It consists of frequency and phase. You can vary either frequency or phase. So why do we go for angle modulation? Angle modulation is the process in which angle of the carrier wave is varied in accordance with the instantaneous amplitude of message signal. In this method, the amplitude of the carrier wave is maintained constant. An important feature of angle modulation is that it can provide better discrimination against noise and interference than amplitude modulation. This improvement in performance is achieved at the expense of increased transmission bandwidth. That means if we increase the amplitude of the message signal, frequency deviation increases. When frequency deviation increases, the modulation index of FM also increases. Due to that, the bandwidth of the modulated signal increases. What is the advantage of increased transmission bandwidth? There is an improvement in the performance. There is better signal to noise ratio. That means the signal clarity will be very good at the receiving end. That is the reason we go for amplitude modulation, angle modulation schemes. So an important feature of angle modulation is that it can provide better discrimination against noise and interference than amplitude modulation. This improvement in performance is achieved at the expense of increased transmission bandwidth. This angle modulation provides us the practical means of exchanging transmission bandwidth for improved signal to noise ratio. So if we go on increasing the bandwidth, we can increase signal to noise ratio. Such a trade-off is not possible with amplitude modulation. So the angle modulation can be broadly classified into two types, namely frequency modulation, phase modulation. See the modulated signal, S of t equal to AC cos 2 pi of Ct plus pi AC. AC is the amplitude of the carrier. We are taking frequency of the carrier and we varies the frequency of the carrier in accordance with the amplitude of the message signal. So this angle term theta it consisting of two terms of frequency and phase. That is the reason angle modulation is of two types. So one is frequency modulation, the second one is the phase modulation. Keep pi c and AC constant. You can take FC and vary FC according with the amplitude of the message. So how do we define frequency modulation? Frequency modulation is defined as the process in which the frequency of the carrier wave is varied in accordance with the instantaneous amplitude of the message signal, keeping the amplitude and phase of the carrier constant. Keep the amplitude and phase of the carrier constant, vary the frequency of the carrier in accordance with the amplitude of the message signal. Now in phase modulation, the phase of the carrier is varied, that is pi c is varied in accordance with the instantaneous amplitude of the message signal, keeping the frequency and amplitude of the carrier constant. When we are doing one modulation, one variation, keep the other two parameters constant. When pi c is varied, that means the phase of the carrier is varied in accordance with the amplitude of the message signal. Keeping the frequency and amplitude constant, we will be getting the phase modulated signal. If you vary the phase of the carrier, the frequency of the carrier also varies. If you vary the frequency of the carrier, phase of the carrier also varies. Because there is a direct relation between instantaneous frequency and instantaneous phase angle. And we also derived the expression for FM wave. We obtained it as AC cos of 2 pi of Ct plus MF sine 2 pi of Mt. And we also defined the frequency deviation of FM. The frequency deviation of FM is defined as the ratio of it is directly proportional to amplitude of the message signal. So frequency deviation delta equal to kFAM, and hence when amplitude of the message signal increases, the deviation also increases. And we also defined the modulation index of FM, which is the ratio of frequency deviation to the message signal frequency. That means MF equal to delta by FM. Delta is KF AM. Therefore, modulation index equal to KF AM by FM. So modulation index of FM is directly proportional to amplitude of the message signal and inversely proportional to frequency of the message signal. There is no restriction on the modulation index in case of FM, whereas there is a restriction on the modulation index in case of AM. The maximum modulation index in case of AM is 1. When modulation index, it is the ratio of amplitude of the message signal to amplitude of the carrier in amplitude modulation. When message amplitude is greater than the carrier amplitude, it results modulation index greater than 1. Due to that, there will be a over modulation. Due to the over modulation, the received signal is in distortion. The signal cannot be recovered properly. Here, there is no restriction on modulation index in angle modulation. There is no restriction on modulation index. So we can increase the value of modulation index beta by increasing the amplitude of the message signal. Thereby, we can increase the bandwidth of the FM wave. Due to that, there is a better signal to noise ratio at the receiving end. The signal can be recovered properly. In angle modulation, there is less effect of noise. This is the main advantage of angle modulation over amplitude modulation. Disadvantage of angle modulation is that it requires more bandwidth. So more bandwidth, in the olden days, bandwidth is a problem, providing high bandwidth systems because of lack of band pass filters, band pass amplifiers. It was a problem in the olden days. Nowadays, with the use of the advanced electronics, bandwidth is not at all a problem. So the main concern is there is a better clarity in the received signal, better removal of the noise, better signal to noise ratio at the distant end. It is possible with the help of the angle modulation schemes compared with the amplitude modulation schemes. In amplitude modulation, noise is more and it requires less bandwidth. We also discussed about frequency modulation. Frequency modulation is the process. It is the angle modulation process in which the frequency of the carrier is varied in accordance with the amplitude of the message signal. We also derived the time domain equation for FM. In that, we defined frequency deviation and modulation index of FM. Frequency deviation of FM is directly proportional to amplitude of the message signal. The expression for modulation index is frequency deviation by message signal frequency. So modulation index is directly proportional to amplitude of the message signal and inversely proportional to frequency of message signal. So after listening to this lesson, we can answer the following quiz questions. The first question, the general name given to both FM and PM. Option A, amplitude modulation. Option B, angle modulation. FM and PM, frequency is varied. In PM, phase is varied. These two are there in the angle term of the carrier, and hence we call it as angle modulation scheme. In FM, the carrier remains constant. Is it true? Yes. Amplitude of the carrier remains constant in FM modulation. Third question, the amount of change in carrier frequency is known as modulation index frequency deviation. There is a change in the carrier frequency. The carrier frequency changing from FC to delta, FC to FC plus delta on positive side. It is changing to FC to FC minus KF delta on negative side. So there is a deviation. The frequency is deviated on either side. That is why the amount of change in carrier frequency is known as frequency deviation. But frequency modulation index in turn depends upon the frequency deviation. Angle modulation is a type of analog modulation, digital modulation. So angle modulation is an analog modulation. Amplitude modulation is also analog modulation. What is analog modulation? Here we make use of a continuous wave carrier. Carrier is a continuous wave, sine wave or cosine wave. High frequency continuous wave is used as a carrier in analog modulation. So in amplitude modulation also the same carrier is used, and frequency modulation also the same continuous wave carrier is used. But the difference between the carrier frequency in amplitude modulation and carrier frequency and frequency modulation is AM radio broadcasting band is from 530 to 1640 kilohertz, whereas FM radio broadcasting band is from 88 to 108 megahertz. So AM carrier frequencies are in kilohertz from 530 kilohertz to 1640 kilohertz, whereas FM carrier frequencies are in megahertz ranging from 88 megahertz to 198 megahertz. All the FM radio channels are available in that particular band, 88 megahertz to 198 megahertz. When you tune it to that channel frequency, we will be able to demodulate that FM receiver, FM signal, message signal from that FM wave. We can make use of mobile for receiving FM channel because the mobile frequencies are very nearer to the FM frequencies. Bandwidth is more and interference is less in angle modulation, amplitude modulation, which answer is correct. In angle modulation, the bandwidth is more and interference is less. FM and PM requires more bandwidth, but it provides less interference, better discrimination against noise and interference. So angle modulation is preferred over amplitude modulation. But bandwidth requirement is more, and it is not at all a problem. With angle modulation, which statement is correct? Constant amplitude, more complexity, both A and B. Both A and B is the correct choice. It requires constant amplitude. More complex equipment is required in angle modulation. So transmitting and receiving equipments are complex. Not only that, it is costly when compared with amplitude modulation. And these are the frequently asked questions. After listening to this lesson, you will be able to answer these following questions. What is angle modulation? Classify angle modulation techniques. Mention the differences between angle modulation and amplitude modulation. Mention the advantages and disadvantages of angle modulation over amplitude modulation. Define FM and PM. Draw the time domain waveforms for PM and FM. Derive the time domain equation for FM. Define frequency deviation and modulation index for FM. So these are all the possible outcomes, the questions you must able to answer and analyze in detail with regard to amplitude modulation, such as frequency modulation and phase modulation.